Kia ora, it's Helen here. Welcome to my little area of the internet where I discuss all my crafty adventures for the month. Today is the 8th of August, Friday, and once again I've had a bit of a cold this week. I think it comes with having a little 16-month-old grandson that goes to a daycare a couple of days a week, and he brings home all sorts of bugs, and then when I look after him on a Thursday I seem to get said bugs. So yeah, I've been not feeling that great all week, a little bit okay today, so I thought I'd just quickly pop in and do my podcast. So today I have got 3 finishes. One was a bit more unexpected than I wasn't expecting to have it finished, and I have 2 works in progress at the moment. So I'll start off by showing you my finished objects. Before I get started, I'll just tell you what I've got on. It isn't something I've knitted myself. It was a cardi that I bought from a shop called Mariposa in our nearest town or city. It's coming across a little bit bluer than it actually is. It's more of a greeny blue. It's teal colour. Lovely boucle, really scrunchy, warm. It's got this lovely big shawl collar, which is just lovely. And you can see, not that you can see, but it's got a lovely shaping. It goes in a curve down the bottom there, so it's really lovely to wear. The only thing that really bugs me is my sleeves seem to get shorter and shorter as I'm wearing it. They get loose around the outside and shorter, so I have to keep pulling them down all the time, which is a bit of a pain, but it's really lovely to wear. So getting on to my finishes, I finished the little baby cardi that I was doing, so that's the finished result there. And I ended up finding some lovely little shell buttons, so I've got little shell buttons down the front there. I don't know whether you can see that. So it's done in a yarn that's called Bella Baby Spots. Spotlight is a shop that's has homeware and crafts, Australian based, but they're throughout New Zealand here. So I ended up buying several colours, which I talked about last week, and this is the second one that I've done. The first one was a sort of like called Bright Spots, and it had little spots of red and blue and orange and green and things in it, and my daughter's already taken that because her friend's baby is due any day now, so she's taken that, and I did a little hat for her in that set. So I've also done a little hat in this set, and it's got a lovely crown. I don't know where you can see that, the way the decreases are done. So it's a really cute little set, and I'll just pop that away for future babies that might come along, for the nieces and nephews and things. So that's my first finish. And then my second finish is this lovely cowl that I was doing last time that was still on my needles. So I'd got to about here, I think it was. It's a bit hard to show you, but it's pattern that is a pattern I found free on Ravelry called Pimlico by Alexandra Brink, but she just did it the lace pattern only, and I've ended up modifying it by putting 4 rows of garter in between each of the lace patterns, because I was going to be changing each of the lace patterns to a different pink from my advent from last year that I wanted to use, and you'll see that it just gets narrower, so that's how much narrower it gets at the top compared to the bottom, so it's supposed to flare out at the bottom and then just be more scrunched around your neck at the top. I won't put it on because it's going to play a bit with my mic that I've got on, but it's done with a beautiful yarn that's got a silver stellina sparkle all the way through it, and it's super soft. The white is a let me have a look and see whether I've got a sample of it. It's done with the Ashford's the white was Ashford's Merino 4-ply. So this is the same company that do all the spinning wheels and weaving looms and things, but they also produce their own yarns. So this is a lovely 4-ply merino, 100% merino, and I've ended up putting it with a Rowan Kid Silk Haze white all the way through it. So even the pink's got that white haze through it. But very soft, it's just so scrumptious. Really pleased with all the shades of pink that the Advent came with. So that's a finished product. I think it was done on 4mm needles, even though it was a 4-ply, just so that you've got a looser gauge with your lace, I think. And I've washed and blocked this already, so it's all ready to wear now. So really thrilled with that. So that's my second finish. Now my third finish, I think I talked about it last podcast, that I was thinking I was wearing the 4-ply version of it. It was the Stansbury Shawl, and I'd more or less done it in the same colours as the picture and was wearing it last podcast. The Stansbury Shawl by Emily Clawson, who's from Yarn Brewery. It's her company where she does dyeing, yarn dyeing in the States. And I love that shawl and wear it all the time. It's a lovely crescent shaped shawl. And I decided I'd quite like a darker version of it, so I had some yarn that's was Broadway yarn, and I'm going to put in just a bit of footage of some colours that I was trying to work out, because I dyed some floof or mohair, and I had that at the end of last month's podcast. And I had two balls or 2 hanks of that that I dyed, and I wanted to find a colour that went with it. Sorry, excuse me. And so I had some examples. I've got a footage of that which I'll show you, and I'll show you what I ended up picking on. Picking on, so but it was a DK rather than a 4-ply, and I thought, well, it was quite a thin for DK, and I thought, oh, I might just get away with it with the floof. So I ended up starting it, and it was such a quick knit because of the DK that I got on really quickly with it, and love doing it. I've just taken off the blocking this morning, but it's turned out, and of course, sorry, I think I've got a bit of floof in my throat. I haven't sewn in any of the ends yet, so it's technically not a finish, but I did this beautiful big, it's turned out really big shawl. So it's probably almost double the size of the other one, or maybe not quite double. So I picked this beautiful yarn it was called Pinot Noir, so it's got lovely kind of shades of purple and burgundy and really rich kind of colours. And so I knitted the first bits that have like garter bumps all the way down. It's blocked up to be a bit fluffier than what it was when I had knitted it. So that's the top part, and then I was debating what I was going to use for it's got some mesh sort of contrast there in the middle. So I ended up finding a ball of, this is another full hank of it, yarn that I had from Prosper Yarn, and it's called Sweet Little Lies. It's got a whole lot of flex and things in it, but the other ball that I had didn't have as much of it in that, and it was a lot more creamy. So I ended up having a small ball left. I think it was about 120 grams or something like that, and I thought, am I going to get it out or aren't I? So I also bought a second ball of the Pinot Noir because I wasn't sure how far that was going to go, and it's a good thing I did because I've only got this much left of the second hank, so it's probably about half the ball. So I definitely needed a second one of that. And then this is all I had left of my contrast colour, so just had enough, which was good. So it's, I don't know whether you can see that, it's just a little bit more creamy with just the little bits of pink, and so there's not really any areas with the black. It's got little specks of yellow and sort of a pinkier colour, and I don't know whether you can see that, and little specks of orange and all sorts of things through it, but I thought it was a nice contrast with the wine sort of colour. But yeah, I'm really pleased with that. It's going to be a really lovely warm shawl because it's thicker, so it'll be perfect in the middle of winter just to have wrapped around your neck. And then it has a little sort of lacy bottom that you do sort of sideways as you go round. So I don't know whether you can see that. It's really pretty. So yeah, I'm really happy with that. I've just got to sew in all the ends now and then it'll be ready to wear. But that's my last finish. And I really got close to finishing with my floof. I was really worried about it because that's quite thin. I really didn't have much left. And because I was working my way right round the bottom with the lace, I got to about halfway and I didn't look like I had very much left. And I was thinking, oh no, am I going to run out? But no, I was fine. It worked out really well. So now I've got these left over for something else now, so I'll pop them in my little section where a little trove that I've got for making other sort of little projects. So that's great. So that's my 3 finishes, all knitting this time round. And then I've got 2 works on the go, and both of them were completely unplanned. I had been watching a couple of YouTubes on, and I'd already had it on my queue for quite a long time on Ravelry, the Anthology Throw, and I really wanted to do that, and it's a really good way of stash busting, or using lots of little bits. So the pattern is the Anthology Throw by Helen Stewart, and it's knitted in the circular, so I was thinking I'd use it more of a blanket rather than a throw wrap round me. So you start with a circular cast on and you work your way around, and then as you go round and round and round, the pattern shows you where to change the colours, and it's got these holes or eyelets all the way around just to break the plainness, and then it's got a really pretty lacy edging around it, which I'm really looking forward to doing. But I got started on that, and I used to start with a 20-gram ball of this orange and gold that I'd got from, I showed you a set that I'd got from Broom Stitches last podcast. So I end up using one of the more unusual colours in that set for my centre, because I really liked the striping that it had. And then I found another sort of goldy colour that went really well with it to put that next, and then I've got a white with little flecks of colour in it, and then I've just started this grey. So I just went through a lot of the 20-gram minis that I made up my own advent last year with, and I'm going to work my way through some of those. There's various different colours. There's turquoisey ones, tealy ones, a really lovely bright pink, a purple. Not that it ever shows purple on the screen, on the camera. It always looks more bluey. But there's a whole lot of colours in there, and some leftovers that I've had from other projects, sock projects, or leftovers from things I've done or dyed or whatever. And I'm going to just work my way up to that. And I'm just it's going to be a slow burn project. You just work your way around and round and round, and every so often you do these yarn overs, so you're increasing, and it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and you end up with something like 1,200 stitches on it. So it's going to be big, and it's going to take a long time to go around one row when you get to that point, but at the moment it's small and portable, and I'm really enjoying that. But I actually put that aside for my second whip, and I'll get that out and show you. So my last project is my project that I'm absolutely loving at the moment. I saw a video. I'm so bad at getting influenced by other people's podcasts, but I saw Paula from Stitch by Mrs. D showing us her beautiful Stephen West shawl that she'd finished, and I was looking at it thinking, oh, it's just so delicate and fluffy looking, and she'd just done these really beautiful colours. Stephen West, of course, because he's really into colour, he does a lot more vibrant colours, and he had a purple version and a sort of beautiful teal version on his website. It's called the Glowhair Frost Shawl, and Paula's was just beautiful delicate colours, where she'd done a slightly darker pink and a speckledy apricot-y sort of coloured one, and then she had I think she had also used white, and I was looking at it thinking, oh, I wonder whether I could use some of my hand dyed yarn that I had, which I've got, and I'll put in a bit of footage of the the colours that I'm using in their hanks because it's easier to see the colours. It's what I've caked. It's well, I've caked them up now and it's not so easy to see the colours, but there's one that's lovely, sort of apricots and yellow and pink, and then there's another one that's more tonal with pink, and it's a pretty, I don't know whether you call it a bubblegum pink or a ballet slipper pink, or I don't know what you call it, but those are the colours I liked and thought, oh, will I have enough? I'm not sure about this one. I think I'm going to have a go at dyeing a bit more of it and see, because the way the shawl is, it's got panels, so I think you'd get away with, if it was slightly different, putting it, and the shawl has all these beautiful parts to it. I'll just show you a picture of the, there's a better picture in here of his green version. So that's, you pick 3 colours and 3 colours of floof that go with it. And so to see there's all panels, various different panels of the 3 colours, and a really lovely edging. And I thought I'd probably just do the edging with whatever I had left over. So I decided again to use this Ashford's 4-ply because it's such a lovely, soft, snuggly kind of yarn. And I've got a couple of other floofs. So I've got an apricot that's going to go with this yellow, lemon and pink and apricot one, so that it looks more apricot. And then I've got a pretty pink that's going to go with this pink, so it should just tone it down a little bit. So they're my colour scheme, and I've just been knitting it just about constantly because it's just such, it's very different than any knitting I've done. It's very textural, but this is how far I've got so far. So, and to me that is just beautiful. So you start off with some garter panels and a special start that he does, and then you move on to this lovely, they're called dip stitches, which make this beautiful pattern, and you use the white all the time, but you bring in your 3 different colours of floof. So I've got a white and then the apricot and then the pink. You do 2 sets of those. And then there was a couple of more rows of garter, and then you do these bobbles, which I've never put bobbles on a garment before. And then you start these lovely, I guess they're leaf patterns. So I'm just starting a 3rd one just at the bottom here. So there's two already, two sets of the pattern, and I'm just doing 1 more. And then you move into a area of mesh that's got a few rows of each of the coloured floofs as well, and then you change to being the second colour is your main colour, and you do different patterns. There's a lace pattern panel, there's some garter that you put the 3 different coloured floofs in and things, so it just changes all the way down. It's really, really beautiful. But I'm really pleased with how delicate those colours are coming out, and I'm about to start more colour, so I'll start with the second colour fairly soon at the bottom there. But just really, really beautiful, and I love it, and I think it's going to be just beautiful draped over the back of the couch, or I know Paula was quite surprised at how big the shawl ended up being, and she says it's just lovely wrapped around her, and she was going to use it when she goes to when she's in bed reading, she's going to have it wrapped around her shoulders, so even something like that would be really good. And I'm really thinking seriously, because I'm enjoying it so much, thinking about, as soon as I finish this one, doing another one, and I might just have teals or mint to teal colour, or a darker, richer sort of plum colour or something like that, as a completely different, deeper coloured one, and I'll have that over the back of the couch all the time, just as a sort of like a decoration, because it just looks so luxurious, and because it's got the floof in it, it's just so snuggly and warm looking, and just all the different knitting techniques aren't hard, and he's got quite a few videos, like where the bobbles were in his pattern. He leads you to another scarf that he did that had the bobbles, so that he could show you how they're done. And then the dip stitches, he also had a video, so he holds your hand all the way through. I've never really liked his other shawls that I've seen him do, because I mean, he's an amazing designer, and there's nothing against him or what he produces, but I'm not really into really bright colours or really clashing colours or anything like that, and so they haven't really hooked me that much. But this one, I was seeing Paula's version where it was just delicate and soft looking and more pastel colours. I just was like in love with it. Had to go and get the walls straight away and start it straight away. So unfortunately my Anthology Throw is probably going to have to wait a little bit. I'll just pick it up every now and then and do a bit to it, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to be working fairly solidly on this Stephen West, or what's called the Glowhair Frost shawl. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be pretty much knitting that until it's finished, and then I might turn around and knit another one straight away, but we'll see what takes my fancy in between. So I'll have all the yarns that I'm using for the different patterns and links to the patterns in my description below for all of the projects that I've either finished or working on, so that you can, if you're interested, go and have a look. And the last thing I've got is one more order that I did. So I had been, when I was starting to look around, and I've discovered I was too late for a lot of the advents that you obviously have to order them earlier in the year, but one of the ones that I had particularly liked the look of was an Australian company called Rainbows and Sprinkles, and she does beautiful rainbowy yarns and really pretty pastels, all brights that are all sort of colours of the rainbow, and I really like that, and I would have loved to have had her advent. So next year I'll have to look a lot earlier and see whether I can order that. So I've found one here in New Zealand which I'm going to be getting, which is a 12-day advent rather than a 24 like I did last year. But while I was looking at the Rainbow and Sprinkles website, I decided that I'd really love to buy a couple of things from her, you know, because you never know whether these companies are going to continue trading, and I'd be really disappointed if I never managed to get any of hers. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I ended up buying this beautiful rainbow hank called Skittles and Sunshine, and it's a really lovely rainbow with speckles, pinks, greens, apricots, mauves, just really, really gorgeous, and it looks like really lovely yarn. It says that it's a superwash merino 85% and 15% nylon. So it is a sock yarn, so I could use it for a sock yarn or for a pair of socks, or a really lovely rainbowy looking shawl or something, but I'll put it aside because I love looking at it. It's just beautiful. And I love having some of these indie dyed hanks that are just really like eye candy. They're just beautiful to look at. They look quite different when they're knitted up or even wound up, but I just think they're beautiful to see. And then I also ordered one of her mini sets, which has got 5 different colours in it. So this is the colours there. And it's called Razzle Dazzle Mini Set, and it's in her Luscious sock base, which is 85.15, so it's the same. And she's got a lovely pink variegated, a white that's got lovely rainbowy sort of colours in it, a yellow, tonal yellow, a green that's got some darker green speckles in it, and then a lovely turquoisey blue that's got some darker blue speckles in it. So really, really pretty. I'm really thrilled with those, and they possibly go into my Anthology Throw if I start looking for that I need colours. Otherwise they'll just be eye candy for a while for me. But I also bought some needle stoppers that I've got on my shawl, which are like cute little cupcakes. Which I thought were just lovely. So I bought those as well from the same order. And she very kindly gave me a whole set of other progress keepers, which is just very generous and very amazing. I don't know whether she just does it with her new customers or whether she does it every time, but there is, how many have I got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So she's given me a lovely, like a Hawaiian flower. She gave me a lovely bead one that's got a little sparkle ring in the middle. So just a really pretty little one. She's given me a little dog, which is very sweet. If I can get it to turn around. Oh. There we are, it's focusing. And then she gave me a little duck, little blue duck. And lastly, a little yellow gummy bear. So that was a really lovely surprise, and I'm thrilled with that. And I'm planning to put a little reminder in my phone to have a look around about May, June. I suspect that's about the right time, or even April. I'll put in a little reminder so that I can go looking at her website and see whether I can order a advent for next year, because I just love, you know, if it was something like these, or it'd be so nice to be unwrapping one of those every day. So yeah, I think she's looks like a wonderful dyer, and just my cup of tea really, sort of pastels but really pretty pastel colours. So yeah, I'm really thrilled with that. So that's my acquisitions, other than buying my floof. I already, as I said, had the others dyed, so I just bought the floof to go with that so that I could do the Glowhair frost shawl that I'm doing. So that's all my crafty adventures for this month. I have got, my son for my birthday last month gave me a little miniature kit. So at some stage when my weekends quieten down a little bit, I'll start doing that. So I might show you the finished result of that once I get that done. That's the only miniatures I'm looking at doing at the moment. Again, we've had rain weather again and flooding again. So this will be the 4th lot of storms gone through in about a month and a half. So it blew like a gale all night and really poured during the night. I was thinking, oh, those poor people out country that it got flooded the last 2-3 times. It's going to be again. So poor guys. Hopefully we'll start levelling out a little bit with our weather. They're talking about it turning a bit colder, so maybe it'll be clearer and colder in the next few weeks. So that's more like our winter that we usually have here. We don't normally have all this rain that we've been having, so hopefully get to do some more bits outside. And not that there's a great deal to do through the winter, but it's always good to get outside. But I don't mind an excuse to be inside and knitting. So I'll leave you there. That's as much as I've got to this month. Thank you for joining me once again if you have. It's always lovely to hear comments from you guys. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the bell icon so that you get notifications when I put my monthly podcast out. It's always changing what I'm doing, and as you can see this month it's sometimes completely different things than I did last month. So it was mainly baby stuff last month. So I will catch you next month, and you never know what I'll be doing next month. So thank you for joining me today, and we'll see you in September. Bye for now.